Welcome to the Explainer. Today we are uncovering what is basically a massive digital Trojan horse hiding right inside your daily AI chatbot workflow. It's a feature that looks, well, incredibly helpful on the surface. But as we dive into the latest reports from the cybersecurity and business worlds today, you're going to see exactly why it is causing sheer panic across the tech industry right now. So let's just start with an urgent question. Think about this. Have you ever pasted a cap table, maybe an AWS key or a highly confidential draft memo into an AI, and then just clicked that share button? If you're like most professionals today, the answer is probably yes. We've all gotten so incredibly used to quick collaboration that we rarely think twice about what actually happens when we generate those sharing links. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the public chat problem, how these chats get indexed by search engines, the weaponization of trusted links, legal privilege and AI, and finally, how to protect yourself. Section 1. The public chat problem. When convenience becomes exposure. You might assume you're just creating this secure, private loop meant for a specific colleague's eyes only, right? But in reality, hitting that share button generates a completely public web page. You aren't just sending a quick message, you are literally publishing a website. And that one distinction, it changes absolutely everything. The scale of this misunderstanding is honestly staggering. According to recent Incident Watch research by Obsidian Security, over 143,000 publicly accessible Gen AI chatbot conversations are sitting completely exposed on archive.org today. And this isn't just an issue with one platform either. This spanned across Claude, Copilot, ChatGPT, Grok, Mistral, and QN. And we aren't just talking about, slightly embarrassing rough drafts here. Founders, lawyers, and operators are using these tools for heavy lifting. Security researchers are finding highly sensitive assets just sitting out in the open, all because a user hit share. We're talking AWS Access Key IDs, replicate API tokens, confidential salary data, internal investment notes, even litigation theories and raw source code. A single copied P exposed in one of these transcripts can be unbelievably costly. Section 2. Indexed by search engines, hiding in plain sight. The craziest part is that hackers don't even need sophisticated tools to find your company's secrets. A basic search bar query is all it takes. By combining the AI platform's domain, like site:/Claude.ai, with standard corporate phrases like internal use only, attackers can instantly pull up an absolute treasure trove of sensitive data. It's not some advanced, highly technical cyber attack. It is literally just a Google search. And we know for a fact this is happening at scale. Forbes highlighted this back in September 2025, when nearly 600 Claude conversations were indexed by Google. Now, Anthropic has stated they actively block search crawlers and allow users to control public sharing. But the simple, unavoidable truth of the internet remains. Once a public URL exists, web crawlers are going to find it. Even if the visible search results are taken down later, those pages are usually already scraped and captured indefinitely by third-party archives. Section 3. Trusted links weaponized. The malware threat. This whole situation created a really rapid timeline of disaster. Let's break it down. In June 2026, Anthropic published a privacy update, but almost immediately after, from June 12th to the 19th, this highly concentrated MacSync Stealer campaign began. Attackers were actually buying Google ads targeting search terms like Claude AI and Claude Mac. But these ads didn't direct victims to a fake site. They sent them to legitimate, shared Claude chats that had been manipulated. The full extent of this threat was finally detailed publicly when Zscaler published their threat hunting report in mid-July. So how did the attack actually work in practice? Well, they used a technique called ClickFix. The attackers placed malicious instructions directly inside those shared Claude chats. Because the URL in the browser genuinely said Claude.ai, users trusted these pages completely. Why wouldn't they? They followed the chat's instructions, pasting commands directly into their macOS terminal. This completely bypassed typical security warnings and downloaded MacSync Stealer, a malware specifically designed to steal cryptocurrency wallets, sensitive files, and credentials. And make no mistake, this wasn't a small operation. Trend Microdata shows this specific campaign hit hard globally, but the Asia-Pacific region was particularly devastated. They accounted for over 67% of all confirmed victims, with Taiwan alone representing over 30% of the total traffic. The attackers masterfully used a legitimate collaboration feature to make a highly malicious instruction page feel entirely safe. Section 4. Legal privilege and AI. Losing your protections. If you use AI for any kind of legal work, this next part is a massive wake-up call. In February 2026, during the United States versus Hepner case, federal judge Jed Rakoff made a huge ruling. He stated that about 31 documents generated through the consumer version of Claude completely lost their attorney-client privilege. Basically, because of the consumer privacy terms and the lack of strict attorney direction, the court viewed that generated data as totally unprotected. Now, to their credit, platforms are definitely trying to adapt here. Anthropic has responded to these growing enterprise concerns by rolling out new privacy updates for consumer accounts. These updates now include identity verification steps that might ask for a government-issued photo ID and even a live selfie through a verification service called Persona. But here is the hard truth we all have to accept. A policy update simply cannot magically erase a transcript that has already been copied, archived, or scraped somewhere else on the web.
Section 5. How to protect yourself. Actionable mitigation.
So what can we do? Take these immediate, actionable steps today. First, aggressively review your AI privacy settings. Second, go through your history and unshare any conversations containing financials, legal material, or customer data. The best rule of thumb moving forward, treat a shared AI chat exactly like you would a public Slack channel. Assume anyone can read it. Finally, if you discover that an API key or password was ever included in a shared chat, don't just unshare the link or delete the chat. You need to rotate that credential immediately. As you go and audit your own digital footprint, you really have to ask yourself one final provocative question. What hidden data is sitting in your chat history right now? Because until platforms fundamentally change how link sharing works, you have to assume your public links will travel much farther than you ever intended. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this so we can keep bringing you these critical explainers. Go check your chat history and stay secure out there.